Alright guys, so I figured it's about time to do a recap video from the DFS Open. So what you guys are about to see is going to be a collection of some videos from that weekend. It'll be about 2 minutes, and then right after that I'll do a recap myself, kind of give you guys the takes from it. So stay tuned for that, and let's go. No, it wasn't. We lost in the playoff there on the last hole. That's kind of just a side note. It would have been awesome to win the DFS Open, the first ever one. It sucked even more being tied for it, but overall, it was a really fun event, really good time. I am looking forward to the second year of that one. I think it'll be bigger and better than ever. All right, so guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to both Ryan and Joe. They put together a phenomenal event, and they really did a great job. They went above and beyond pretty much any expectations I think anyone in the DFS community had. So huge shout out to them. And the big picture thing too is that they had the right mind to make it a charity golf event, and we were able to raise a lot of money for the first tee, which is huge. It's a huge step for not only fantasy golf, not only PGA DFS, but just the golf community in a whole. It helps legitimize the fantasy golf community as, a group of people that does want to grow the game. We're starting to see that take place with PGA Tour sponsoring DraftKings or coming together with a partnership. We saw that with, a betting company also becoming a partner with the PGA Tour, and now we're seeing that even more so with us as a fantasy golf community. Being able to raise that money as a whole for a really good cause was nice to see, and it was honestly a really smart idea, and I just want to give a huge shout out to those two. So I do want to do the breakdown of just my weekend there. Me and my fiance, we made a vacation out of it. So we left on Thursday, took a plane there, got there on Thursday, just hung out at the resort. It was a good time. And then on Friday, we went to Drive Shack, which was a sponsored event by one of the content providers there, which was really nice to see. Huge shout out to them for sponsoring that event. It's really fun. After that, obviously on Saturday, we had the DFS Open. I had to get up at, 5:50 or so, get ready, and then go. It was really fun to hit range in the morning and whatnot. You guys saw that on the video. So what it was we played the event. My team really didn't make a birdie putt over 15 feet. And we ended up tied for first. We did a playoff. We ended up losing the playoff, which was, pretty unfortunate to see. The team that actually beat us, they teed off on the same hole as us. So hole 9, Group A ended up winning it, and hole 9, Group B ended up, being tied for first. But it was a really fun event, a really good time. The only change I really would have made was that I wish that a majority of the people that were at the DFS Open would have went to the Honda Classic on Sunday rather than Saturday. We didn't really get a full day's worth on Saturday, and I just didn't really see the point of going on Saturday. It would have been really fun to grind out the win with Sunjay M on Sunday. Obviously, it would have been bigger crowds and whatnot, but still, that would have been much more fun for me. And then after that, my fiance and I, we just had fun downtown West Palm Beach. Went to the beach itself. It was a little bit windy. Didn't get too much with it, but West Palm Beach downtown was a lot more legit than I honestly thought it would be. It was a good time, good selection place for that. So one of the biggest takeaways for me is that, I do think that 9 to 5 itself, there are 3 things that I think, we can grow upon there. A lot of the people that were there were podcast people. And I think, 9 to 5 could definitely benefit from becoming a podcast as well. I'll pretty much just rip the audio from my videos, keep it short and simple like it's always been, give you guys the plays without giving you any fluff. I'll keep that in the podcast as well. But, podcast does provide a different avenue where you can provide a little bit more content. Because people that are listening to podcasts don't really care about the content or the quality of information being spewed. They just want to hear something throughout their workday. It's pretty much what I've gathered. And then another thing, I have also enabled a group chat. Now, the reason I did it is because it does seem like people want the group chat, but the way that I'm going to use it is a little bit different than most of the golf community uses group chat. So when I'm going to use it as is just when we see like a weather change or a showdown change, where there's information that I just need to get out to you guys in a quick and easy fashion. So I just want to be able to use it for like showdown contests essentially. So let's say one of our core plays struggles in round 1. I want to be able to tell you guys, all right, we are definitely attacking him in round 2 because regression to the mean, he's going to be able to go off, which is a little bit different than I think most people use their chat. It seemed like a lot of people were using their group chat as kind of just confirmation bias. The whole group is talking together about plays and whatnot, trying to figure out who that they should be on. And I get that, but really it made sense why some of the ownerships, why I get really confused by the ownerships, because, these group chats are pretty much talking up players or talking down players that they shouldn't be. And it really seems to like increase their ownership a lot more than it really should be, which is something that we've been able to benefit from quite a bit with 9 to 5. And one of the beauties about 9 to 5, and this is one of my worries about starting a podcast, is that if I start a podcast, 9 to 5 is going to grow. And I have honestly designed 9 to 5 to grow at its own pace. You need to grow at your own pace. You don't want to exceed kind of what your capacity is as a company, or me, it's as a person. I want to be able to have the time to do the research and quality content that I've always been able to do without exceeding the demand of people that are asking questions. I want to be able to get back to everyone in a timely fashion. And another big takeaway is that there is a ton of confirmation bias going on in the golf community. And I'm not trying to talk bad about anyone or anything like that. I get it. A lot of times in PGA DFS, there's more than one way to be right. And pretty much it just comes down to who's more right. And I think I've really skewed my content towards, being right more often than not. And, being right most frequently, essentially, is that I've always really focused on the quality content, not quantity. One big takeaway is that a lot of the content providers, and I'm not talking bad, obviously people love their content and they love making the content, so it's no harm, no foul here, but there's a lot of confirmation bias out there when people just give quantity content. They're giving out a lot of content, 2 or 3 videos each week, or a long podcast. You get a bunch of people coming together in one podcast as well. They're spewing the information. You guys are getting a ton of information from different avenues and whatnot. It's hard to really break down who their core plays are or who they're really targeting. I think that's one of the benefits from my videos each and every week, is that it's just coming from me. And it's really easy to lay out who my favorite plays are and if you guys should be playing them or not that week. And I think that's one of the things that I've always valued, is I want to give you guys the plays each and every week that are going to succeed. And I want to give it to you guys without the fluff. Okay, it's straightforward, gives you guys the picks and whatnot. Pretty easy sample there. One thing I did notice too is kind of interesting to see, and this goes across like people that do stat engines, people that provide content, people that are just normal DFS players. It was kind of surprising the lack of goals. And I mean this for like DFS, with the concepts that they're entering and whatnot with their lineups. Everyone's dream seemed like it was to like win the big GPP, which is fine. But it was kind of surprising the lack of like weekly goals or daily goals or monthly goals that people had towards doing that. So for example, like you gotta know how many weeks you can lose in a row if you're just mass entering, or you gotta make a budget for yourself if you're just mass entering. It was just kind of surprising how many people were just straight up gambling. And to me, yes, this is a sport where we're gambling, but you gotta make it optimal for you, optimal for your playing style. And it was kind of just surprising how many people didn't really know what their playing style was. For me, I know it's more of a cash focus. I want to be able to increase my profit as the season goes on. I don't want the roller coaster ride. I want that steady increase.
It was kind of interesting to see kind of the different content providers out there that have memberships as well as I do, because I know I package my membership at like $10 a month for pretty much everything that everyone else is offering. And my biggest takeaway from the difference in product is, one, I'm definitely not charging enough. But my main reason for that is I would just feel bad charging people $40, $50, $30 a month, $200 a year or whatnot for content. It just doesn't seem right to me. Why would someone want to spend their money or spend their DFS just trying to recoup what they put in? And it seems like the more people pay, the more confirmation bias they had towards whoever they're paying that much. Say if they're paying $40, $50 a month for this certain membership, they're going to have more confirmation bias because they want to be able to back up what they're paying. Essentially, it seemed like the more people are paying, the more bias that they had towards that specific content provider. I'm not like talking down about anyone in the DFS community, because everyone in the DFS community was really legit. Everyone was really friendly and nice. It was awesome to see that. And I was really shocked to see how like accepting the DFS community was. And that's one of the biggest things about golf in general, especially for me. I never want to see someone play poorly on the golf course. I just want to play better than them. And that's the same thing for me with PGA DFS. It's like my goal always is just to do better than everyone else. I don't want to see them do poorly, or I don't want to talk down about them. There's more ways than one to be right. There's more ways than one to like get a birdie on a hole, So I do want to bring up one point, and I think this goes back to kind of my style of DFS content versus other people's style of content. A lot of the people there that I talked to, their main focus was on upside, hitting the upside. They didn't really focus on likelihood to make the cut, which really shocked me because, it does make sense why 9 to 5 is the most watched PGA DFS content or most listened to content per subscriber. It's pretty much 1 for 1. The amount of subscribers we have matches the view count that we have each week, which I think really backs up the quality content that I've been able to produce each and every week. And I just want to thank you guys for that. But my overall point here is that, with the content that I've been able to produce, it kind of shows why people have responded well to it. A lot of the people that I talked to at the DFS Open were really focused on the upside. We saw that Benny Ann was highly chalky at the Honda Classic, and it kind of shocked me. Now, I loved him I didn't love him. I liked him as a play. I really loved his upside. The problem with him was his likelihood to make the cut. The players that were around him had a stronger likelihood to make the cut. It was just kind of surprising how many people skewed their content towards someone's ability to win. Now, obviously, it worked out for them. It kind of goes hand in hand. This is why I'm bringing it up as a point, because I'm not saying they're wrong, and I'm not saying I'm more right. I'm just saying this is my personal style of play. I was much more on Harris English than the rest of the people in the community were. They were much more on Benny Ann. If Benny Ann had missed the cut, oh man, it would have been a great week for 9 to 5. Instead of like 5% having 6 for 6 across the cut line, it would have been like 2, and we would have dominated because like our main lineup had 6 for 6. A lot of the people had a great week with 9 to 5 that week. A lot of members were sending screenshots, and then the following week as well. But my point behind Benny Ann was that I have 2 points. One is that he shouldn't have been chalk. Now, yes, he was a great GPP play, which it was pretty easy to say that. He was a great GPP play, but the worry about him was his likelihood to make the cut. He really struggled on Thursday, was able to bounce back on Friday, which brings up my second point. It's like, I was talking to people, I'm like, so did you play him in Showdown on Friday? And a lot of them didn't. And I was really shocked. I'm like, so why? Like, you believed he was a great play on Thursday for that week. Regression to the mean, if you guys are right, are going to tell you that he's going to be a good play. People are paying more dollars per month for a certain membership. They're most likely just playing, mass entering GPP lineups, because if they're paying $40, $50 a month, they don't really care about how much money they lose. That's pretty obvious to me. They're mass entering GPPs, and their goal is to win a GPP or have a high finish in a GPP, which is a little bit different than my style of content. I only charge $10 a month for the main reason that I want people to be able to win money week to week with my content. So say $10 a month, that's a lot, but it's not too much. What we're giving is, I just added in a group chat, which I did that because of the DFS Open. A lot of people said that they valued their group chat, and I didn't really get why. It seemed like there's a lot of confirmation bias going on in group chats, which really raises the ownership to players that really shouldn't be that high, which is fine. But for me, my group chat, I'm going to use it as a way to tell you guys when to play someone in the showdown slate. I had been doing that, but I had been writing it in the comment section of the membership content, which we've had 3 people win a showdown slate already, which was awesome to see. A lot of the times that's just using regression to the mean or taking advantage of a certain weather wave, and I can put that out in the group chat a lot easier. So that's how I'm going to implement that. And pretty much to me, A group chat should be used as that. If you're using it as a way to discuss plays and whatnot, I feel like I want to be doing my job. I want to give you guys the information. I want to give you guys the plays that I'm on the most. And I want to lay it out to you in a way that should specifically tell you how I'm viewing them. So if someone's a core player, someone's a high exposure play, they're going to be in my cash build and they're going to be in my GPP build. If they're a high exposure player or a core play and they're a GPP only play, that doesn't make sense because likelihood to make the cut should be a factor in core and high exposure plays. That's why a majority of the time my players will make the cut. And if one of those players don't make the cut, it's typically because they're just chalky and they disappoint. The thought process was right and the strategy was right. It just didn't pan out that week.